What is a blackout journal? It is a black journal. What am I going to do with it? I don't know. A couple of months ago, I signed up for the Archer and Olive kit. In those kits, these blackout journals keep arriving. And this is a really nice one. It's 40 pages long. And I did a bit of an experiment this morning just on a little bit of blue paper, not black paper, with my gouache paints. So what I'm thinking is this is going to become a paint journal. And I'm going to start on it today. So I'm going to be using my Gimme kit. Alright, so let's go. Let's wing this. Given it was a blackout journal, I thought I'd stick with a nighttime scene. And I did that for the 3 that I'm showing you here today. So I wanted to have a mountain kind of looking up through like a rocky mountain and have gradient in the skies going from light through to dark, and then put in some shadows of the mountains and some pine trees. So that was my aim here. What I did notice excuse me, in the journal was that the pages were crumpling up a little bit. I wasn't using a lot of water. My gouache paints are pretty much almost dried out, so I just had to spritz them a few times and add a bit of water to them to get them going. But the journal pages started to crumple up, so it's definitely not a sketchbook, but that's okay. I kind of knew that. And I did use my heat tool later to dry it in stages so that it would flatten sort of its way back out again. So it's something that I did notice, and something that did impact on the painting coming up. The gouache paints themselves actually do reactivate in water quite easily, so even though I haven't got a very smooth finish here, I can go back in with another paintbrush that's wetted down, and I found that I could blend the colours quite easily. And then when I wanted to begin starting to add in the clouds, same thing. They came on, really hard edges, and then a soft brush, wet just a little bit, helped to blend those in with the gouache reactivating, making that process a whole lot smoother than what I imagined it could have possibly been. I spent a little bit of time on the clouds just trying to get them to look half decent before I then started on the trees. My tips for making trees is to get yourself the thinnest brush you possibly can. Make sure that your paint is at a medium thickness so that it comes off quite easily. Once I had finished the trees, I just went back up and thickened the trunks and made them a little bit darker through the centre. And then I grabbed some white and a little bit of yellow and made the moon. I finished the painting up with a few dots that I made using the paintbrush. I didn't use the flick technique. I didn't want them to go where I want it to be very subtle, as it was still on dusk, so I didn't want to have these great big splatters of stars throughout. You'll notice that I've had a bit of trouble with the washi tape, which really peeved me off and made it look like rubbish around the edge. But I even sort of prepped the washi tape by running it along my trousers a couple of times before I stuck it on too. Still made a mess. I dried the first painting using my heat tool, and then I started on the second one. And the second one is a cool photo that I saw online. It had a really bright sort of moonlit river or lake, and with one tree with a reflection in it, so I thought I'd give this one a crack. So I'm starting with the lighter colour in the middle, and I'm going to try and blend out into the lighter blues, and then add in a little bit of background mountain, and then do the tree. Still having trouble with that washi tape, but this one came up a treat. I like this one. For the third and final painting for today in this journal, I wanted to do something a little bit different because I had a lot of them, the blues and dark blues and whites. So I wanted to introduce a little bit of a different colour here. So this time I added in some purples. And this is when I really realised that I needed to be doing some more painting because my gouache purple is getting very, very dry. So I started out again with the lighter colour and then blending up into the darker colours, so the purples. So I used purples, a pale orange, some pinks, and then I went down and put lighter to dark colour down the bottom as well, and added in a lot more dark to make it give that appearance of water. I used some darker blue and some black for some mountains or hills to give an idea of that in the distance. And then I had a brush, a really, really long, thin, I think it's called a rigger brush. I've heard people call it a rigger brush. And I've wet that down with some navy blue and just really lightly flicked it up the page to make the reeds. And then I went back in with a smaller brush to add the tops of those. I like this one because it showed me that you can use different colours on top of these black journal pages and they still come up a treat. Now, obviously, it'd be interesting to see how it would compare on a white piece of paper because you'd have that tone behind it, but I'm actually really liking the way that it's turning out. So this is my third painting. I really struggled with the washi tape on this occasion though and had to use a Tombow to colour in around the outside. Well, that was a bit of fun for this morning and I'm pretty happy with the way that the gouache paints turned out. So here we go through paintings for today. If you have enjoyed this video, the way that you can help this channel out is by giving me a like and subscribe if you'd like to. Of course, there's no obligation to do that. If you do like and subscribe to the channel, I can let you know that it isn't a niche that I have. I don't stick to any sort of niche. I actually just do things that I enjoy. The channel is called Creating with Ali because I like to create things, whether that be in my craft or art room, whether that be online, whether that be in the garden or maybe even in the kitchen. So there's a little bit of everything on this channel. Thanks again for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed seeing what's happening in this journal. Next time I do a few more paintings in here, I will pop them up so you can have a look and we'll do a big walkthrough at the end. I'm pretty happy that I'm actually starting to use this Blackout journal. I never